Hey, everybody, welcome to our live stream book launch of The Courage to Say Yes. This is our brand new book that we're publishing here at Hope Books. It's what we call a Hope Books collection. And we have 91 authors that have contributed to this book. They've each written an entry, and we're so excited to share this with you. So, for our authors, go to open up Facebook and share this link so we know that people are getting it. And we're just so glad to be with you today. And today, I have so many of our authors who are here to share about their story. I'm going to bring them up on stage right now. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at y'all. You did it. You are now a published author, and we're so excited to be with you and to see you. Oh my goodness, there you go. Look at that. Isn't this cool? All right. So, wow, amazing. This is so much fun. So what I'm going to do is just call on one of you at a time. I'm going to start with Lori. And Lori, I'm just going to ask you a question about what you wrote about in your entry inside of the book.
Okay.
And then I'll call on the next author, okay? So Lori, what did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
So basically, I wrote a short story about seeking the Lord after being hit with a blindside divorce, and just asking Him to be with me and to kind of carry me through a pretty difficult time after 35 years of marriage.
Wow.
And I wanted to encourage other women.
Thank you for writing. What was it like to see your words in print, to be part of this collection?
Crazy.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. I mean, I never thought for a minute I would ever do anything like this, but I also asked the Lord to use what I went through in a way. And sometimes we don't get to choose the ways. He just kind of presents them and we just walk into it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to bring up Sally. Lori, I'm so proud of you and
Thank
your
you.
words here in The Courage to Say Yes. You did it. This is going to be really fun. Really fun. Lori, way to go. Congratulations on being our first one. Sally, what did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
So I have spent, 37 years in HR leadership, and I wrote a story about myself, but one that I saw play out over and over again with women with established careers who unexpectedly had a job loss or career loss, and then had to face the fear and insecurities that come with that. But God never, God wasn't surprised. And so I write about how the fear talks loudly, but how you look for God in the middle of that. And if you listen for God and listen for guidance, sometimes it sounds like a crazy opportunity, but you step forward, encourage, and kind of put the fear aside. So that's what I wrote about.
I love it. And Sally, what did it feel like to see your book published, to see your words in print?
Well, 10 years ago, I voiced it to a counselor that was my dream. I whispered it basically, and I retired about 2 years ago. And so this is the beginning of the dream for my next season. So it was really exciting.
I love it. The beginning of the dream for the next season. If you're just tuning in, we are live stream launching The Courage to Say Yes. You can get this book on Amazon right now. Support your friend, support your author. And authors that are here, once you're on the stage, if you can go leave the stage and then go over to Facebook to watch it, I appreciate it. Opens it up for our other authors. But we are going to have so much fun. Also, authors, if you click on the private chat here in StreamYard, I'll put the name of the next person I'm talking to so you know that you're coming up, okay? So I'm so excited to welcome Elizabeth on the stage to talk about her entry. Elizabeth, what did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
Brian, so my story is for the recovering overachiever, particularly for those who've had the added responsibility of being a single mom. And it's to remind those women that God never intended us for carry every burden alone. And I had a journey of exhaustion and striving, going from that to surrender and peace. And God's been using a season of burnout to redirect my heart and my priorities.
Come on. What was it like for you to see your book in print?
Oh, it was so fun. I will tell you, I think it's I'm living the after the yes. So yes. The courage to say yes was to walk away and start something new. And this is a part of that. So it's great.
Let's go. I'm so proud of you. Way to go. Awesome. Always good to see you, Elizabeth. So proud of you. I can't wait to welcome up Carrie Watts to the stage. Hey, Carrie, how are you? Good to see you. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
Well, I have my book right here. It's so
Let's
exciting,
go, the
Brian.
twins.
And yeah, so my submission is on page 232. It's before I prayed for them. I was sitting in a nursing school classroom when my professor invited us to pray with our patients. And that started, it was just a call to action that I needed to hear because I grew up in a Presbyterian church and we were called the Frozen Chosen. And so I had never prayed out loud with anybody, but I knew it was going to be it was going to stretch me a little bit, just like everything else in life that we're called to do that's out of our comfort zone. And so I knew that I needed prayer myself. So I embarked on my own healing journey and took myself to counseling because I knew that I needed to heal from some childhood trauma before I could pray with someone else. And so just her inviting us to pray with our patients just put me in the car, took me to counseling, and started my healing journey. And because of my healing journey that started at 21 years old, here I am in my 50s writing to help other people to start their healing journey as well.
Amazing. I'm so proud of you. What was it like to see your words in print? I know this is not your first book, but to hold the book Courage to Say Yes in your hand, knowing that you shared that story.
Well, every time I see my name on an article of any kind, whether it's, the Hope Writers magazine or it's my full novel, it's truly a miracle. And I say to anybody that wants to write, you can do it. Because if I can do it, you can do it. I have a nursing degree and I'm writing, and it is so exciting. It's an awesome life. And I will say the Holy Spirit truly is my co-writer. I cannot write without God's leading. And it's the sweetest relationship with God I could ever have is to put words on a page. I truly feel like the Lord is calling Christians to write at such a time as this. And your talk, Hope, at the Hope Story Conference, Brian, is what prompted me to write. I didn't think I could add anything else to my busy schedule, but this article needed to be written. It did. And it started me on even another road down more writing. So thank you.
Love it. I'm so proud of you. Oh my goodness. What a blast. If you're tuning in live on Facebook or wherever we're streaming this, make sure to leave a comment, say hello, and support our authors. And if you bought a copy of the book, say, I bought it. I bought it. This book is called The Courage to Say Yes. It's 91 different authors sharing their story of courage. And I'm bringing them up one at a time to share a little bit about what they wrote about. But hopefully you grab a copy so that you can read it. And we have Dace. Dace, or how do I pronounce your name?
It's
so glad that you're
my
here.
name is Dace.
Dace, welcome.
Yes.
I'm Brian. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you're here.
Well, I'm from Latvia originally, but for the last 24 years, Charlotte, North Carolina has been my home.
Amazing. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
Well, I wrote my experience to say yes to hospice when my daughter was sick.
Oh.
As a parent, that was my hardest yes.
Oh. What was it like to see your book in print, to see your words in print?
Oh, definitely surreal. And ironically, also through my experience, it's kind of like we signed up for death, but I learned so much about living and life through that. So you just never know what's on the other side of your hardest yes.
Oh, it's so good. I'm so proud of you and so glad that you're here. Y'all, we are live stream launching The Courage to Say Yes. We're talking to each of our authors who have contributed their entry, their words into this book. And I'm so excited to introduce Christine. Christine, tell us what you wrote about in The Courage to Say Yes. I can't hear you yet, so you got to just check that microphone real quick. We've got it. We're going to figure it out.
Hey, there you go. Sorry about that.
What did you write about?
I wrote about a crisis in our family when my husband suffered a traumatic brain injury. And we just saw God do amazing and miraculous things. But what I learned is that we had to say yes to trusting God, no matter what we saw, no matter what diagnosis was given. God is greater than every situation. And so I wrote this book so that people would be encouraged to trust God and to believe him so that they could face whatever they're facing with courage and hope.
Come on. You sound like a professional author.
I am now.
You are now. You're a published
Yeah,
author now.
I am.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, Christine. What was it like to
Thank
see your
you.
words in print?
You know, it took me 3 days to open the box. It was surreal. This has been so long coming. God told me to write this, 13 years ago, and I've been trepidatious, and I'm working on my other full book. And but when I opened it, I just cried. It was like a culmination, and it's been a catalyst for me now to finish my other book.
You did it. Well, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad that you're here. Y'all grab a copy of The Courage to Say Yes. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart. You can get this on walmart.com. How cool is that? These authors sharing their story of the courage to say yes. I'm going to bring Melissa up on the stage, and we're so glad that you're here. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
It's so good to see you. First of all, I love your wallpaper. Is that like a Shih Tzu wallpaper?
Yep. It's Shih Tzu's wallpaper. I have a 15-year-old Shih Tzu, so I had to get her.
You had to get her on the wall. Mm-hmm. What did you write about in your book, The Courage to Say Yes?
I wrote about the death of my sister Karen and how I was experiencing my first pregnancy. I have a picture of my daughter here now, and how I gave her my sister's name when she was born, and how going through the grief of expecting your first baby and losing your sister to cancer at 20 when she was only 27 years old, and how that affected me, how you can still have joy and grief at the same time.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that, Melissa. Wow. What would you say to somebody who's nervous about writing? Now that you've done it and you're in a book, what would you say to somebody who's like maybe hesitant to share their story?
Just do it. Just write it. You'll feel the words come to you, and don't worry about making everything so perfect to begin with. Just get everything out on paper or on your computer or whatever. Just get everything out, and then you can go back and refine it. Because I think so many times authors or people are so like trying to get everything perfect that they miss the message in what they're writing.
Oh my goodness. That is words of wisdom. Y'all, you've got to grab a copy of The Courage to Say Yes. I'm so excited that you're here. We are live stream launching this book and bringing up authors one at a time to share their story of what they wrote about in The Courage to Say Yes. And we have Jonah with us. Hey, pal, how are you?
Hey, Brian. Thank you so much for doing this and hosting us.
It's good to see you. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
I wrote about saying yes to packing everything I owned when I was 17 years old and moving across the world and crossing oceans. And it was a big adventure, and it taught me a lot about trusting and just doing the next right thing.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. What was it like to see your book, your words in print?
It was awesome. It felt so good to hold the book, and really this was a saying yes story on sort of two ways for me, because I felt like on one way I was saying yes to writing, which is something I've been wanting to do for so long, and yet writing about a story of courage. And so it felt like it was the right thing to take that next step to saying yes to writing.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. It's so good to see you. Wow, y'all, this is so fun. We are just talking to our authors who have written their entry inside The Courage to Say Yes. I'm going to bring Karen on in just a second. As soon as I see her, there she is. Here she goes. Welcome, Karen, to the live stream. What did you write about in The Courage?
Hi, Brian. I wrote a story that's probably almost 50 years old. And it's about how when I was young and I second guessed myself all the time and I had no self-esteem and I got married when I didn't want to. So my courage story was the courage to end my marriage.
Ooh,
and it was very difficult because his family and our friends, I missed everybody. It wasn't just him that I was leaving his family, but I learned an awful lot through the years. And I know I learned that it wasn't all his fault, that a lot of it was my fault too. And I've grown from that. So I kind of don't want people to make that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want people to get married when they really don't want to. And, you know, make sure you're ready.
Yeah. Incredible. What was it like to see your words in print in a real book?
In a real book. Well, it's great. It's great. And I love that I'm in there with like 80 other people or 90 other people, however many it is.
Mhm.
I have been published in 2 other collaborations, so this isn't my first time, but it's still exciting every time. It's still exciting every time.
That's so awesome. I'm so proud of you and your courage to say yes to writing your words, to saying yes to telling a hard story and encouraging other people. And so proud of each of our authors. Y'all grab a copy of The Courage to Say Yes on Amazon. I'm going to bring up Pauline next to the stage. And I'm so glad that y'all are here. It sounds like our audio is live. So thumbs up if you can hear us right now. It looks like, yeah, y'all can hear us. So awesome. So Pauline, hello, good to see you.
Hello.
Hey, what did you write about? What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
Well, I wrote about my courage to say yes to presence. And my reason behind that is for people who are caring for loved ones, potentially having a loss in their life. And during those difficult seasons, essentially the circumstances around that can really cause them to be overwhelmed and the responsibility associated with that. So the power of just understanding that you need to be intentionally present and more or less be for the others who are in need that you're caring for. And I can just share an example for myself, which is for my dad, who I lost in Christmas Day on 2025, and I learned from that presence is essentially that it's something that is just traumatic, and as a result of that, I learned on that journey that you have got to be strong in the Lord, strong faith, prayer, and also being able to comfort and give that person hope, and just be there for them. And what I also did was it compelled me to dig a little deeper into presence, because we say it a lot, but what exactly is presence? Essentially, presence is is the action, is love in action, and courage is saying yes to God's call to show up. So essentially, I just felt like in that whole time with him in his final stages, it was a time where it was so surreal, where I felt like God was walking me through a passage that I'd never been through, but it was something that I knew that he was there with me, and also sharing, just being present, to be available for that person.
Oh my goodness, Pauline, thank you so much for being with us and for sharing your words of hope, your courage to say yes in this brand new book. And we're so excited that y'all are here. I'm going to bring up Ella in just a minute. And for our authors that are tuning in live with us, we're so proud of you. We're so honored to be your publisher. We do have a private chat happening, so I give you the name of the next person coming, so you'll be able to kind of know when you're coming up. And thank you for watching us live. For friends and family tuning in on Facebook, thank you for your support of these stories. And we're just so grateful that you're here. Ella, welcome. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
Well, mine's a little backwards, because I had the courage to say yes to saying no. So I'm a big believer. I had, always prayed to be a good mom to my kids. And one day, one of my daughters was complaining about how her laundry was. And it gave me the perfect opportunity to step back and say no to doing laundry and say yes to teaching my kids how to do more adult things themselves. And it led me down a path to where I am just a huge advocate for parents unentitling their kids. Instead of letting their kids expect everything, stepping back and teaching their kids to move forward and to gain the skills of adulting and become a great adult by learning step by step while they're still under the umbrella of their parents' encouragement and love and support. And if they fail, it's a great time to do it. And they can, get picked up and dust it off and start over again.
I love that. What was it like to see your words in print in the book?
So fun to get it in the mail and open it up and say, wow, here it is. It's finally arrived. And it's going to be exciting to be a legacy for my children, to see my name in print, their name in print, their story that started this whole thing. Here it is right here.
You did it. I'm so proud of you. This is so much fun, y'all. Give a hand to all of our authors that are live with us, that have in the book. We're so excited. I have Jennifer joining us right now. Jennifer, I'd love to hear from you. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes? Hi. Good to see you. What did you write about?
Hey, Brian, if you're talking to me, I can't hear you.
I am. Hello. Good to see you. Okay. I think everybody else can hear me, so your turn. You talk. Uh-oh. Okay. Y'all, this really is live, so we're so excited you're here. I'm going to bring up Summer in just a minute. So, and then Jennifer, I'm going to check back with you, so stick around. Just get your make sure the audio is going. So, Summer, welcome. Hello.
Hi. Hi,
You
Brian.
did it. What did you write about?
Oh gosh. Well, it was a long time ago, but I was having a real time of grief. I had 4 pregnancy losses, and then I found myself pregnant again, and they thought, something was wrong with the baby, and I had all this pressure to have an amnio, and I was like, I can't go through that loss again. And I had a lot of pressure medically from family. And I just decided I can't do that. And I wrote about the process of that and how God put it on my heart to just trust. So it was a lot about trusting in my story. And well, he's all grown up and it's quite wonderful. So I went through it, but you know what? It all worked out. And I think trusting is what we need to do more of in life, don't you think?
Absolutely. Every day. What was it like to see your words in print, to see your story in a book?
Well, first, I just want to say it's so beautiful, and I'm matching it. But it's so beautiful.
Me too. There you go. I got the blue, you got the pink.
Oh, thank you. I actually didn't do it intentionally, but I just noticed. So, you know what? It just feels right, Brian, to finally share. I feel I have a lot of stories inside to share, and coming to your conference just kind of just said, it is time to start sharing these. So it feels right. It's not like it's some shock. It's beautiful and exciting, but it's exactly where I should be and where God should have me right now. So thank you.
I love it. I love it, Summer. So proud of you. This is so much fun. And yes, authors, I'm doing my best to go in order, but sometimes somebody's not here. So stick around as best as you can. And I'm just bringing up people as they go. Once you've been on stage, if you could exit the backstage, because the room is full. And so other people are trying to get in and they can't. So thank you so much. We're so proud of you and your faithfulness in writing your words and sharing your story of hope, your story of courage. So way to go. I'm going to bring up Pamela next. So Pamela, I can't wait to talk with you about your story. There you go. Hey, Pamela, what did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
Hi. I wrote about a story that happened a long time ago, but it definitely changed the trajectory of my life. And I was a very young mother and wife at the time, had just gone back into the workforce and had just been hired for a job that carried a lot of prestige with it. And another opportunity opened up at the same time. So at the time, it didn't seem courageous. It just seemed like it was a choice I needed to make to do better for my family. But when I thought about it, when you brought up this topic and I started to do some self-checking and some thinking back, I realized that one little yes changed a lot of things in mine and my family's lives. So I'm quite excited to have been a part of this project.
I'm so proud of you. What was it like to see your words in print?
Very exciting because I am definitely a seasoned senior at this point, and I have copious notebooks laying around with notes and writings from years and years, but just have never pushed that button. And so this was the first button that I pushed as far as being published. And from here on out, I'm going to be pushing more buttons, I believe. And I can't wait to see what is going to be next with me and Hope Books. Amen.
Let's go. Pamela, that's amazing. Yes, as Pamela's alluding to, at Hope Books, we love helping Christian women write their story and publish their book. We specialize in helping first-time authors. And so my dream is to help you get published. So if you've ever thought about writing a book, we'd love to talk to you. hopebooks.com/call to schedule a call with our team. Maybe you write an entry or a devotional in one of our collections. You can see a couple behind me. The Year of Hope, we announced the Year of Hope coming up on Monday. Maybe writing a chapter in a book or even a full book. We are a publisher that really believes in faithful over famous. And we're so glad to be with you today. We're live streaming, launching Courage to Say Yes. I'm going to bring up Amanda to share what she wrote about. There we go. You found us.
Hey,
I found you.
I cannot hear you.
Here we are. Okay. I can hear me. You can
No
hear me?
idea. I'm gonna jump off.
Okay, she's going to jump off. But Amanda wrote in The Courage to Say Yes. So you have to find out what she wrote about by getting your copy over on Amazon. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm going in order. Elizabeth has shared already. Christy and Karen. I want to kind of get back on track. Karen, I see you. I'm going to bring you up and we'll see if we can make this happen. Hello, Karen.
Hey, how are you doing, Brian? And I have my book right here. I'm so excited about it.
What did you write about?
I'm in section 6, which is Calling in Ministry, on page 201. It talks about my courage to say yes as an 18-year-old to nursing, despite different challenges that were in my way. But God, like some of the authors have already said, is always faithful if we trust him and give him that. And ironically, I'm sitting in the midst of a tropical storm in Long Beach, Mississippi, with thunder and lightning and rain pounding against the window panes. But it just spoke to me that no matter what storm you find yourself in, you can have the courage to say yes to whatever God is leading you to do. So yay, Hope Books. Thank you so much for giving me the courage to write, honestly, to just be obedient to the Lord. So thank you so much.
Amazing. What was it like to see your words in print?
I tear up with our first collection I did. The same with this. I opened the box with my girls for Mother's Day and their guys and my mom and family. And it was just a blessing to be able to share with them, to leave words as a legacy for them. And that's what I shared with them, is just that, to leave legacy for the grands and great grands to come, just to always have the courage to say yes to what God leads them to do.
Oh, I love that so much.
Thank you, Brian.
So proud of you, Karen. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm so glad that you're here. Yeah, I'm putting a little X after somebody's been here. Okay. Awesome. So this is so much fun. What a trip. It's been amazing to be part of this collection. It is now live on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, all the places. And we would love to celebrate with each of these authors as they have a message to share. Amanda, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me right now, because I want to make sure that the audio is working. Okay, great. Here we go. Amanda, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Brian, for being patient. I don't know what happened, but whatever.
You're here. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
I wrote about my journey to seek healing for an abortion I had at 14. God had called me to use that story to help others one day. But in order to do that, I had to be open to receive the healing first. And so that was by far the hardest yes as an adult, a wife with a family and worried about drudging up old stuff, but knowing what God was calling me to and having to trust that and do it anyway.
Come on. What was it like to see that story in a book.
It was exciting. It was it's just affirmation of what God had said, that this would be used to help others one day. And to see it here is humbling, but it's also empowering for those who will read it, who have a story similar to mine, that, we're not a lost cause. We didn't stamp, we don't have the stamp of approval to straight to hell. There's grace and forgiveness, and that's what the Lord wants. So I pray that it gives others courage to seek out that healing as well.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. This is so much fun. I'm so proud of our authors writing their story, their courage to say yes. I'm going to bring up Crystal. Crystal, what did you write about in the book?
Hi, Brian. Actually, when you were talking about storms, coming back from the conference, I had taken one of my favorite winter coats because of my husband's encouragement. And I was on my way back and I kept passing this lady at the check stand, and I could just hear the Lord saying, give her your coat. And I have learned over 63 years that when he starts speaking, you need to do it, whether you're afraid or not. So on my fourth pass, I turned around and handed her my coat. And she just, the tears, she started crying. She's like, I don't even have a coat to go home in the storm in. What I didn't realize is that there was people watching, because I ran off to my flight. I then ended up spending the night in Dallas without a coat in a freezing terminal. And, the joke's really on me, because I had asked the Lord for clarity for the book I'm wanting to write. And so he puts me in a terminal that's freezing cold without a coat for the whole night. So putting a few sweaters on, I paced the terminal and listened to his voice, and super excited to get moving on the book.
Let's go. I'm so proud of you. And what was it like now? I mean, 6 months later, the book is real. Like, here it is in your hands. What did that feel like?
It's always so exciting. I love words, and I love to see how they impact people, and to be able to share your story, even small bits. I would just say to those listening, do it afraid.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you, Crystal. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is such a blast. I'm so excited to be with you. My name is Brian Dixon. I'm the founder of Hope Books. And the whole idea behind Hope Books is that we help faithful women write their story and publish their book. And we really believe that what you've been through isn't wasted when you share it with somebody else. And these authors have had the courage to say yes to sharing their story. We base this on Romans 5:3-5, which says, rejoice in your suffering, because we know suffering produces endurance. Endurance produces character. Character produces hope. And my favorite part, and hope doesn't disappoint. And so even when you share a hard story, it doesn't disappoint, because there's somebody that needed to read it. You don't need to be famous in order to have an impact, just to be faithful to share your testimony, his story of what he's done in your life in this time in history. So we're so honored to be part of this project, a small part of this project, bring together these amazing authors to share their story. I'm going to bring up Susan to the stage. Hey, Val, how are you? Good to see you.
Brian.
Hi. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
I wrote about the 1 year I stepped out of my comfort zone. I was in a stage of life where I had been going through one teaching job after another, and they were all very great jobs. And this job was in New York City, and I was living in beautiful high-rise apartment with a doorman, the whole thing, going on the bus every morning through Central Park, over to Lincoln Center, getting my coffee, getting my donut. And I was presented with this opportunity at this retreat center that I went on one weekend with my sister. And we just saw this ad for a nurse and a teacher down in Bolivia. And we just had been grown up and raised by parents who always had this book. So if you're Catholic, the Maryknoll missionaries. They were the first Catholic mission to go overseas. And it's a long story in our family. Like, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them, because my mother was kind of rescued by them in South Korea way back. And so we always kind of had this dream in our heart, this idealism growing up, hearing about missionaries and going out and doing great, little things with great love. And so it was kind of like our moment. We were both in our late 20s. My sister was in a great job in New Jersey. I was in a great job in New York City. And we just said, it's now or never. Like, we're not engaged to anyone. Like, there's going to be a day when we're going to be tied down and we won't be able to do this. And it was a great adventure. But I wrote it to give hope to someone who might be stuck in a place where they're very comfortable, but they want to do something that would be adventurous, or maybe a calling, like I had a calling. But I'll just come up with one great outcome from that year. There was a young man. So we helped street children in this program that was from about 4 or 5 years old, way up to 18. And I reached out to a former director of an English program over at, it was basically like Berlitz, if you ever did foreign language training.
Right,
it was Berlitz on campus. And so I taught in a Berlitz on campus, and it's worldwide. So I reached out to my director and I just said, hey, I said, there are some promising young people here, and I'd love to give one a chance. If we could get him a visa to come study in the United States, would you give him a scholarship? And he said yes right away. We only had email back then, but he said yes. So I linked up with this other guy that was there as a volunteer. He was a young lawyer, and there was a Berlitz on campus in his hometown of Minneapolis at the University of Minnesota. So that Berlitz on campus is the same Berlitz on campus. So we got Javier, who is today, went through his English program, went through a whole, course, got his degree in, I believe it was electrical or engineering of some kind.
Yeah.
Some, skill. He was very, very skilled. He's very smart, but he was very skilled with his hands and creating things and carpentry. Like, he could make anything, he made bookshelves and furniture down there. So he's a very hard worker. And when we told him, he was in shock. And I'll never forget the day that we brought him here and he saw the ocean for the first time, because Bolivia is landlocked. It's at, it's like over 8,000 feet of altitude. We had to take altitude sickness pills just to, land there. And we had bloody noses for the first month. It's very dry. So he was so excited just to see water, a 21-year-old boy jumping in the water for the first time at the ocean. And now he has a wife and kids, and he goes back to Cochabamba, Bolivia every year. And he brings, hope to everyone there. And had I said no, and had I not left my comfort zone, this never would have happened. And this is the joy that I learned, that you can go somewhere where people don't have material, but the people there are just so joyful with having just, a shirt on their back and sandals on their feet, and just having the love of friendship and community around it. Just changed my whole perspective, that I could leave Upper East Side of Manhattan and go just leave it all and just take a little suitcase with a pair of sandals with my sister. And there are a whole lot of stories. So I just am grateful for you giving me this opportunity just to write this short one about Javier. I think it could be a couple more chapters.
It sounds that way. I'm so proud of you. And thank you for sharing your story. What was it like to see your words in print?
Oh, I have always loved to write. So to see that, because I love your motto that, we don't have to be famous, but, I think that God is smiling on all these stories, and that's all that matters. I want to be famous in heaven. I probably won't be compared to all the saints, but that's the only applause I need. So thank you again.
Amazing. It's good to see you. Thanks for contributing your writing to the Courage to Say Yes. Y'all, if you're just tuning in, we're so glad that you're here. My name is Brian Dixon from Hope Books, and I'm so honored to publish The Courage to Say Yes. And we have an incredible group of authors that are sharing their story of what they wrote in The Courage to Say Yes. Authors, we're so glad that you're here. We are using the private chat in the StreamYard, so you can click on that private chat and I'll let you know who's coming up next. And we've got Melissa. Melissa, what did you write about in the Courage to Say Yes? Oh, I can't hear you yet for some reason. Let's just check that audio real quick.
Yep.
Awesome. There we go.
All right.
About?
All right. So I wrote about one of the hardest seasons of my life where I experienced more pain, loss, and than I ever thought I could survive. That I really didn't think it was even possible for me to get through it. And when I was writing it, it's very vulnerable to put your thoughts on page, you know, and I had to step away a few times because I would get emotional and come back to the writing. And it was a process, but in the journey of writing it, it was very healing. And, you know, once I did it, it felt really great. It felt great to see the words on page, and I was so happy with them. And what really was amazing, my mom read it as soon as I got my author copy, and she came up and hugged me and she said, "I'm so proud of you." She said, "Melissa, this writing is amazing." And I was just like touched by that, you know? So yeah, I was glad I did it ultimately.
What did it feel like to hold your book in your hands with your words? I know you published with us before, but for this particular book with that.
Yeah, it was just this story. As soon as you mentioned it at the Hope Story Conference about this opportunity, I knew this was the story I needed to write now, you know? And so, like, you know, someone else said that published before, it's different every time. And it just always feels great. It really does.
That's so awesome. Melissa, I'm so proud of you. And
thanks
for trusting us with this process. This is so much fun. And authors, this matters, right? Zechariah 4:10 says, "Do not despise the small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." And we're rejoicing with you because you did it. You wrote your words of hope and shared them in this collection. I'm going to bring Trinity up on the stage. All right, here we go. Trinity, hey, good to see you. Okay, I can't hear you yet. Maybe just check that microphone.
Sorry.
I gotcha.
Yes, great to see you.
Great to see you. What did you write about in the Courage to Say Yes?
I wrote about the last 6 weeks with my dad before he passed away, and I stayed with him and my mom and helped him transition in the way that he wanted. And so if I hadn't said yes, then I would have missed out on a lot of beautiful opportunities and time with them. So yeah, that's what I wrote about. I knew at the conference, I'd wanted to come to that conference for years. I'd been eyeing it, couldn't get it to fit my schedule, whatever. I've got 4 boys. It was hard to make it all happen. And I just decided this year it was the year and I was going. And then this came up and it was like, okay, just do it. Do it scared. Do it. Just do it. And so that's what I did.
You did it. You did it. What
Yes.
was it like?
Yes.
You know, to now see it in your hands and be able to share it with people.
It is surreal and it brings a whole lot of emotions, to be real honest. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of it's just amazing. And I can't thank you enough for putting all of it together and making it all flow. And it's been a super amazing process.
Amazing. Well, we're also super proud of you, Trinity. Thank you for being here. We're also super proud of the Hope Books team. This teamwork makes the dream work. So we've got an incredible team to support you in your writing, to coach you, to encourage you, to edit your words, to help get your words out online. This book, my friends, Courage to Say Yes, is available on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. Walmart has this book. How cool is that? So grab a copy of The Courage to Say Yes. Just go on any of those platforms, type in The Courage to Say Yes book, and you will find it there. And we're so proud of our authors. I'm going to bring Mimi up on stage. Hey there, welcome. I can't hear you yet. You might have to hit unmute for your microphone. Let's start with
how are you doing?
We got it. What did you write about in your book?
Oh, great. I wrote about, yes, it's about the power of choosing faith over fear. it tells how every major turning point in my life required me to say the hardest yes. Yes to follow Christ when it invited persecution. Yes to remain believing in Jesus Christ when the torture and the hardship and growing up in underground church can lead me to give up, but I said no to giving up. I said yes to hope. I said yes to freedom. I said yes to God's purpose. The quiet act of yes led me to start a new life in America. And also it led me to start a nonprofit organization that is called CG Women's Empowerment. Its mission is creating economic self-sufficiency for women and children in Oromia, part of Ethiopia. So, yeah, hardship can transform your life, but mostly it can also let you transform others' life positively. So I encourage everyone who are watching or reading the Courage to Say Yes book to be encouraged and empowered and empower others too.
Let's go. I'm so proud of you. What was it like to see your book now out in the world? Your words are in this book. What does that feel like?
Yeah, it feels really good. This is my second book. I have one book that is called Resilience, Turning Persecution into Purpose. It's hard to write the whole book, but writing with a team can be easier because people bring more experience and the marketing can be easier and we can learn from each other. We can reach out to the world more because we all bring our unique experience.
Amazing. Well, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Writing in The Courage to Say Yes. I'm going to bring up Pat in just a minute. I want you to know that your story matters, that you have a message of hope to share, that what you've been through isn't wasted when you share it with somebody else, because what you've been through, somebody else is going through right now. And so we're so excited to celebrate our authors who have shared their story of courage. And Pat is with us. Pat, what did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes? She can't hear me right now. So she's going to need to check that microphone. She's like, I don't want to share my story. Go ahead and find that sound. I know Leilani will help you out in the chat to make sure that your audio is working. So Karen, I'm about to call on you. I hope, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, Karen can hear me. So let's bring you up on stage. Come on, pal. How are you? Welcome. What did you write about?
I am good. Can you hear me?
Hear you great.
Awesome, Brian. I am so excited to be a part of this project. My chapter, Hiding in Plain Sight, Deconstructing the Facade of My Curated Image. It was about how my health challenge caused me to take off the mask of trying to act like everything was perfect, everything was fine.
So good. What did it feel like to hold that book in your hands and see your words in print?
Absolutely amazing. This is my second collaboration project, and it's just amazing because I started to send an email about this launch day, and I kept peeking and reading the other stories. I was like, this is so good to have this on my desk. And it's just a gift and a treasure, and to be part of it. Every story matters. You're absolutely right.
That's so good. Absolutely. Well, Karen, we're so proud of you and just honored to work with you yet again in a book. And what's next for you? What's coming up in your world when it comes to writing?
I am working on my full book with Hope Books. And this has helped me to narrow my focus, and it helped me to realize that the people I believe my message is for are really out there.
That's right. They are. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for being with us and being part of this book. Y'all, it is such an honor and privilege to be with you today to live stream launch The Courage to Say Yes. Grab a copy of The Courage to Say Yes. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the places. Pat, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. She can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
I can hear you.
Amazing.
You're real.
I am real and you're not frozen, so I'm doing good.
I'm
Yeah.
dancing. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
I was much younger and I was stuck in a job which I did paperwork in a warehouse. Absolutely, I was accomplishing nothing. And I joined a new church and I was looking to do something. And I said, okay, what do you need the most? And they said, we need somebody to do the daycare after school for the 4 and 5-year-olds. I was a last child. I had no experience, no babysitting, no anything, but I'll do it for an afternoon. And they took me over and introduced me to the teacher that was leaving, who left me all these notes and all this, and oh, you're going to do great. And I'm looking at the kids, and they're all nice and quiet and drawing and behaving. And I walked in 2 days later to this whirlwind, everybody going crazy. And the only thing I could think of was, God, don't let anybody get hurt and don't get everything get broken. And I loved it. And, the kids loved it. And I stayed a while, and it was the most interesting, fascinating people. Wow. Even if they were 4 and 5. But if I had not said yes, that I would go over there and try it, then I would have missed out on a whole lot of joy. So the Holy Spirit knew what I needed even before I knew it. And that's what I wrote about.
Come on. I love it. What did it feel like to hold your book in your hands and to see your words in print?
I had written it several weeks earlier, and I'd sort of forgotten what I had written. So I opened it up and I'm reading it, and I got choked up. I just looked at it and said, did I really write that? And it was kind of there in black and white. I wasn't going to forget it. And, it's something that if you think that you got a story, go ahead and put it down, send it in. You never know. It might wind up.
Come on.
So go ahead and do it.
Go ahead and do it. Pat, good to see you. I'm so proud of you and sharing your story and your courage to say yes. And it's such an honor to be with y'all today. We've got authors popping in, sharing their story of the courage to say yes. I'm going to bring up Michelle to share what she wrote about. Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
You did it.
I did it. So exciting.
What did you write about?
Well, I wrote about a time when I was 18 to 22. I was in a 4-year relationship with a very nice man. But honestly, I knew deep down in my heart, he just was not the one that the Lord had for me. And we were engaged. We had everything done for our wedding, everything, but the invitations were sent out. And the Lord just made it really clear that this just wasn't right. And so it took a lot of courage, but I trusted the Lord that he had something else for me. He called me into a time of singleness, and the Lord became my first love again. And it was just such a sweet, sweet time, and prepared me to truly meet my Prince Charming. My devotion in the book is called The Courage to Wait for My Prince Charming. And my hope is that I can encourage young women who might be in a relationship that is just comfortable, but really not the one that God had planned for them. And it's just such a blessing to get to write about something that it really was a huge step of courage for me at that age, but to lead me to my wonderful husband now of almost 24 years. And just God truly has our best in mind.
That's right. Oh my goodness. And you got your book in your hand. What was it like to get your book and see your words in print?
Oh, it was truly, I am so grateful to you, Brian, and to Hope Books just for the opportunity. And it really was a dream come true. And it's such a gift to have an opportunity to encourage others. I really prayed over my story, even what to write, and just pray that the Lord uses it to encourage another person on their journey.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I'm so proud of you, Michelle, and thank you for sharing your story with us inside
Thank
of this
you.
book. Way to go. This is so much fun, y'all. I'm so glad that you're joining us. Go ahead and leave a comment on Facebook to give a shout out to our authors. I'm going to bring Roz up next. And we are just so excited for our authors who have shared their story, their courage to say yes. Roz, tell us, what did you write about in the courage to say yes? I can't hear you yet. Maybe unmute.
I forgot to unmute. Can you hear me now? Okay. I'm excited to be here, especially with so much going on in the world today. My title was God was not marked absent, and my courage was to, as a public school teacher, to make God the center of my classroom. So many times we think that we're limited in the secular world place, but God just opened so many doors. And when I had the courage to say yes, my parents are missionaries and my goal was to go on the mission field, but health kept me away from that. And I was devastated. And God shared with me that I had a mission field in my classroom. And it was just such a joy to be able to write that and to be able to encourage other people in their workplace to be able to, stand up for God and have that courage to be that active witness, because we are the ones who have the answers for all these problems and the issues people are dealing with and bringing people to Christ. And so it was just encouraging to be able to encourage others to be able to do that. And I thank Hope Books for that.
That's amazing. What was it like I know you published with us before. What was it like to see this book in your hands and to know that your story's in it?
It meant a lot. And each time, like somebody else said, each time it's a little bit different, but this one each time has significance. And I think this one had real importance to me because I'm a teacher at heart, and my heart goes out to the kids that need the Lord. And we have so many strong teachers, Christian teachers, and we feel like we can't stand up for God and we can't do this, we can't do that. They took prayer out of school, they took this out of school, but they can't take God out of school. They can't take God out of any workplace as long as we're willing to stand up for God and be that witness. And so it was just encouraging to be able to write that and hopefully encourage somebody else to make sure that God's not marked absent in their workplace.
Amazing. I'm so proud of you. You did it. Congratulations.
Yep. And I also want to thank Hope Books, because XYZ, anybody, if you need to know the XYZ, you're writing for X to overcome Y to get to Z. That just clarified for me. I told Brian and Zoe that, there's no imposter syndrome. I know who my audience is. I know what God's message is, and just having that confidence to share it. And so I was just thankful for the opportunity to be able to share it one more time with you all this time.
You did it. Awesome, Roz. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, if you're just joining us, we're so glad that you're here. My name is Brian Dixon from Hope Books, and we are launching The Courage to Say Yes. And we have incredible authors that are joining us live to share their story of what they wrote in The Courage to Say Yes. And we're bringing them up one at a time, and we're so glad that they're here. I'm going to bring up Susan. Hey there.
Hey.
Tell us what you wrote about in The Courage to Say Yes.
Well, mine's a fairly recent story. It happened 3 years ago. We'd been married for 35 years or so. My husband wanted to move states and start a whole new chapter. And I didn't want to go because my life was in the same place, in the same state. And it's about my struggle to let go and to trust God and relinquish control of my life and my family to the Lord and honor my husband and go with him. And I was rewarded with a beautiful gift of time with him that we hadn't had. A lot of hard things that happened over the years, being married that long and having a big family. And over the years, I thought, I should write about this, or I should write about this. And one day I'm going to write about this. And then thought I would have a chance to do that when we moved. Well, it turned out he got a diagnosis of cancer while we were there. And so unexpectedly, it went in a different direction. But we never know how much time we're going to have with someone. And so saying yes going with him and having that special few years with him were, I don't know, priceless.
Wow.
So getting to write this was
what was it like to hold that in your hands?
Surreal, emotional. I've shed lots of tears over this. I don't think I would have written about that quite so soon.
Yeah.
But going to the conference was a God thing. I was just 7 months after his death when the conference came up, and I just knew I had to be there. And it has helped me move forward, process my grief, and I know there's more of that to come. I feel like I'm still right in the middle of this really messy place. So writing about something that emotional was not easy. Took a lot of courage. And now I feel empowered that I can write about these hard things and I can heal.
And people need to read some of these hard things.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. I'm so proud of you and your faithfulness to write your story. So thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome, y'all. We're so glad that you're here. We're bringing up authors that have shared their story and the courage to say yes. I'm so excited to bring Rachel up on screen. Hey, Rachel.
Hi.
You did
Got my
it.
book too.
Oh, yeah. Tell us what you wrote about in the courage to say yes.
Well, mine is a story of grace. It's really about how God met me in the middle of my chronic pain and how he taught me to draw close to him, to receive his love and his grace. He led me to begin an online women's ministry for women who are weary of striving, and to help them rest in his love so they could experience intimacy with him and as his cherished daughters. It has definitely been a scary path because I was not seeking out to speak publicly or to step up in this way, but his grace has provided the courage I have needed to say yes to him every step of the way.
Come on. That's so awesome. What was it like to hold your book in your hands and to know your story is out in the world?
Well, as I've been listening, I've been hearing so many authors say surreal. I'm wondering if there's any other word that actually captures it quite like that. I don't think so, because it's just such an amazing thing to hold this in your hands. You have gone through this experience and it's been hard, but you've made it, right? And God has brought you through, and to then turn around and have his help in articulating that, in processing it and articulating it and condensing it and making it concise, because you wanted these short. So making that like that, and then just seeing it and being able to hold it in your hand. And my son and his wife and our little granddaughter came over, and she was actually there. The little one was there when the book came, when we went out, and she was a part of it. We went out together, and she was holding it, she was looking, and so it's really special.
I'm so proud of you, Rachel. Thank you for sharing your story and the courage to say yes. So fun. Y'all, I hope you're having fun. This is amazing. We have authors tuning in from all over the world and sharing their story of the courage to say yes in this collection. And it's so fun to be with you today. And I'm going to bring up Kristen to share her story. Kristen.
Hey, how are you?
What did you write about in the courage to say yes?
I wrote about my longtime journey with bipolar disorder and God's ability and his love to sustain me through a crisis. My experience over the years has been tumultuous. Oftentimes we separate mental health and physical health, and I've been behind the scenes advocating for many years. But this is the first time I've put down on paper and actually put it out in public that the struggles that I've had and how my faith has gotten me through that. The story is called The Breath of Life. It's a reference to the Holy Spirit and how it fills you at a time when you feel empty. And I really I'm grateful for the opportunity to put my words out there. They've been private for a very long time. So I hope that someone who is struggling with their mental health will see that there's hope. that suffering can help you build endurance.
Mm-hmm.
And having the courage to endure, I think, is really critical in this life.
That's so good. What was it like to see your words in print in an actual book?
Well, it was a little scary, to be honest. I mean, I put my blood, sweat, and tears out there. And I think at first I didn't want to open the book to make it real. And then I realized that you have given me such an amazing chance to get started. I've been working on a memoir, which I've been really afraid to put out there because, again, it's my insides on the outside. And this has just given me the jump start that I needed to move forward with that.
I'm so proud of you and your courage to share your story and to be part of this collection.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today, Brian.
Amazing. Y'all, we're so proud of our authors. At Hope Books, we often say faithful over famous. I really believe that publishing doesn't have to be something you do by yourself. No author left alone. We believe in the power of community. It's why we started Hope Writers over 11 years ago. Hope Writers as an online community that supports each other in our writing. And as part of Hope Books, we have different ways to work with us. And one of those ways is called a collection. So this book that comes out today, it's out now. You could buy it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Walmart.com, all the places, is made up of 91 different stories of women mostly. A few guys contributed as well, sharing their story about when they had the courage to say yes. And we're just so proud of our authors. And I am looking for, okay, we'll bring up LaDawn next. So LaDawn, we're so glad that you're here. Hey there.
Hi, Brian.
You did it.
Yes, excited about it.
Tell me what you wrote about in The Courage to Say Yes.
The title of my story is The Sun, S-O-N, Shine Path. And I wrote about one of the hardest times in my life when my mother was diagnosed terminal. My father had been ill. And shortly after my mom passed, I found out I was pregnant. And so it's all about the courage to say yes to bringing new life when you've lost the love of your life. So that's what my story's about.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for your courage to share that story. Hold your book in your hands.
Oh, it absolutely feels amazing. This is the first one I participated in was fiction. So this one is like it with real life and sharing a really big part of me and how the Lord grew me through that. So super excited, happy to have this as a legacy for my children and grandchildren to know this part of me and be able to pick it up and read it at any time.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. What would you say to somebody who's nervous or hesitant to write their story?
I would say if you know that God called you to do it, then just be obedient. It's taken me a lot of years to get here. And we know they're not promised. So once you get going, put the story on the page, the Holy Spirit will be with you through it, called you to it, will bring you through it. And the Hope Books team is amazing. So just an amazing group to work with to help you bring forth the calling that God has on your life.
I'm so proud of you.
That's what I would tell them.
Come on. What a privilege. What a privilege to publish your words. And thank you for your courage to say yes and for sharing your words with us today.
Thank you, Brian. You're an amazing leader and we love you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh my goodness. LaDawn, everybody. Ooh, you're going to get me crying, girl. Come on. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you're here. Yvonne, give me a little thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, great. Awesome. We're so glad that you're here. We are live stream launching The Courage to Say Yes, which is our brand new collection book. It comes out today, and I'm bringing up authors to share their story. And we have Yvonne with us. Hey there.
Hello, can you hear me?
We hear you great. What did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
So I put a snippet out there of the courage to face the repressed memories that God started bringing up of childhood abuse. And a lot of women facing that tension between the memories coming in and rushing forward, and how do you navigate life. In that, some people want to say put the past in the past, because Paul writes about, leaving the past in the past, but you cannot put the past behind you if it is infecting the present moment within you. And so it's just the courage to say yes to God, to walk through that, so that a person can come from a place of living out of fear and out of mistrust, out of shame and insecurity, into a place where they can live with hope, they can live with confidence, they can walk with dignity, and live with the gentleness that they're striving probably to live in.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my goodness. And thank you for your courage to share that story. I know was that hard to write?
Ironically, when you had said at the conference, that you're putting that out there, I was just like, Lord, what is my yes? I mean, there's so many opportunities to write about, and that was the one that just downloaded. And I'm like, okay, so the writing part of it was fine. It came easily. It's, there's a lot of hope in that. There's a lot of promise in that. And so I just plugged, yes, let's do this. But boy, that send button to put it out there that the world was going to read. It's different when I'm having conversation with somebody in a coffee shop talking about nuggets of my story, right? But to be out there for the world to see, that became hard at that moment.
Ooh, that's so good. And what was it like to hold the book in your hands?
Oh my gosh. So my unboxing, if anybody has a chance to see all of the unboxings, compare mine, is absolutely hysterical, because these women have done some amazing things and opened up the box and the lid that says you said yes. Not me. I was frantic. I've got my kids, a couple of my kids with me, grandkids were running around. I opened the box upside down, didn't even see the you said yes, grabbed my book out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this book feels so good. And my daughter's like, okay. So it's incredible. It's still hard to believe that that's really happened. I've had a handful of people have already said I've bought the book, and some have, shared pictures of me with their copies. So it's humbling, and it's really unbelievable to be a part of so many people telling their story of just faithfulness and moving forward to do hard things.
That's so good. I'm so proud of you. What would you say to somebody who's hesitating to write their story?
Face it, do it. It's take the courage to say yes. You have been pushing me in a whole nother story that's being written right now, but it's empowering. It's healing. It is healing. It's just good to do it. It is hard, but it is really, really good to do those hard things. And it means a lot to the people that are going to hold that at one point in time.
Let's go, man. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for being an author with us, and thank you for sharing your words.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, y'all. It's such a privilege to be with you today. We have authors tuning in from all over the country and all over the world, sharing their story of the courage to say yes. I'm going to bring up Janelle in just a minute, but I want you to know that you have a story to share. And so number one, grab a copy of the book. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the places. Grab a copy of The Courage to Say Yes. It just went live today, and we're so honored to share these stories with you. Janelle, what did you write about in The Courage to Say Yes?
Hey, Brian. So I wrote about what it's like to parent a child through mental health challenges, and our particular moment when we realized that she first needed to go to the hospital. So that was a tough moment.
That is a tough moment. What would you say to other parents dealing with that issue?
Know that you're not alone. I think my next big courage step was actually choosing to put these words on the page, and as Yvonne said, to push the send button to know it's out there now. There's obviously, it's a risky thing, but as we have told our story, people have just come out of the woodwork to share, oh, my brother, my child, my cousin, and just people learning that they're not alone in this journey. makes such a huge difference. Such a difference.
Wow. What was it like to get your book and see that your words are in print now?
It was crazy. It was, I've got it here. It was super affirming to see the words in print, and also a little scary because here it is out in the world. You know, you never know who's going to read it or what their reactions are going to be. But, you know, as others have said, when when in that writers conference, when you put that offer out there and you put that challenge out there, for me, I knew right away what it was that I was supposed to write about. And when you know that, and when you know that God is calling you to put those words on a page, you know he's going to do something more with them. So it's in his hands now.
It's amazing. What would you say to somebody who is hesitating to take the next step of writing their story and getting their story out in the world?
I would say that God has created you for a unique purpose. And if there is something that you feel like you have to share, my guess is God is already 3 steps ahead of you, or 10 or 1,000 steps ahead of you, walking you down that road. And so the next step is one of scary obedience, right? Take one next step and then one next step. And yes, I need to follow my own advice.
Hey, let's go. We're here for you. Janelle, I'm so proud of you. Way to go. You did it.
Thank you. And thank you, and to everyone at Hope Books for such an amazing opportunity and privilege.
Amazing. Well, this is so much fun. What a privilege to be with you, to share the stories from The Courage to Say Yes. This book is now available all over the world. How crazy is it that what you've been through, that you can write it down and you can share it, and you just never know the impact that your story is going to have on somebody else. So we're so excited to be with you today. We are going to have a few more authors join us to share their story. I'm going to bring up Laura to share her story about what she wrote about in The Courage to Say Yes. Laura, can you hear me okay? I'm missing you. I know I can see you, but I can't hear you yet. So check that microphone one more time and we can come back to you if we need to. Sometimes exiting and coming back works, but we are talking about The Courage to Say Yes. And awesome. No, I can't hear you yet. So yeah, check that mic real quick. There should be a settings that you can click on microphone check, but we'll figure it out. Angie, I'm going to bring you up next. What a fun time to share your story. Angie, what did you write about in the, I love your shirt. Oh my goodness.
Of course. I had to wear the shirt today because everyone's story matters. So I'm so excited to be here and hear all the other authors of the book. It's been so much fun. So I actually didn't get to open the book box until today because we had been on vacation, came home sick, but I was determined to be here today to see everyone. My story, I've been in a couple other collaborations with Hope Books, but this story, when the invitation was put out and the theme of the book was presented, the Lord just spoke to my heart right away. And this is probably one of my most personal stories because it's not just saying yes to a new plan in life, which is the story is about, but it goes much deeper. I had to say yes to trusting God. And I had to say yes to new life. And I don't want to give away the whole story, but saying yes to this story was probably the best thing that I could have ever done. And even though it started off with probably doing something that I shouldn't have been doing, it ended up being a real blessing, and it ended up changing my future husband's life at the same time, who I've now been married to for almost 26 years. So he got to be a part of this blessing as well. So it's a personal story. It was scary at the time, but the Lord knows, and everything worked out in his favor.
Oh, it's so good. So good. Okay, you got to tell us the story. You just got back from vacation. You found the box. What was it like? Paint the picture for us.
Oh, I know I didn't even get a chance to do the video that we were all doing, but I opened it probably 2 hours ago, got myself out of bed and everything to open the box. But it was so lovely to open it, and knowing that I have friends that are also writing friends that are also part of the book just made it even more special to unbox it and find my story and find their stories. And that's what made it just even more special this time around.
Oh my goodness. That's so cool. What would you say to somebody who's like hesitating to write her story, has been thinking about either writing a devotional or a chapter or even a full book, now that you've been here and done it, what would you say?
Well, one thing that I have learned by sharing my story and parts of my story, especially in the last year with writing, is that, you never know who you're writing for, but the Lord will send you that person to tell you that that story was meant for me too. And even if your story is out there and only one person gets encouragement, can move towards healing, or whatever it is, that makes it all worth it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what God wants us to do, is even though we have to go through so many tribulations and we come through it on the other end with his help and for his glory, the Bible says that we're supposed to be there for the other ones coming up behind us. And so I hope my story in the book does that for someone.
I love it. Angie, I'm so proud of you. You did it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I hope you feel better as well. Thanks for being with us. Amazing. What a privilege to be with you today, to share these stories of hope, these stories of courage. Tommy is about to join us to share his story of courage. I see you. Welcome.
Hey, greetings from Alabama.
Oh my goodness, Tommy, it's good to see you. Tell us a little bit about what you wrote about in The Courage to Say Yes.
I wasn't sure at first, like, what should I write about, but I thought there was an experience that happened when I was in maybe the 6th or the 7th grade, which had to do with bullying and, standing up for myself. And, there's been a lot of stories in the news about people being bullied. And of course, sometimes the outcome is very tragic. So, I thought maybe if I, shared my story that, that might could help people, because, as the previous person just said, you never know when, your words, sometimes different people can say something and it really resonates with you. Like, some preachers can kind of speak to you more than others. So, you put this in this collection, and I hope that people will understand, that they can stand up for yourself. And I would say, I had this misunderstanding, growing up church, Baptist church. I just had this misunderstanding that, like, well, when Jesus said, if you get slapped on one cheek, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. And I misinterpreted that to mean, like, well, you should just be a doormat. And of course, I eventually figured out, like, no, Jesus is saying you're not supposed to retaliate. But, I don't think he intended anyone to be a doormat. He certainly wasn't. And his disciples, the 12 apostles, I mean, these were people that, except for Judas and St. John, they were all martyred for their faith. So I do think God expects us to stand up, but just, don't do it, like the worldly way, but do it in a way that's godly. But you can stand up for yourself, and you have to, because if you don't, then, some people will just run over you.
Wow. I know that you've been dreaming about writing a long time, and you've written, like, you're now writing. You're a published author.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you, Tommy. Tell us, when you got this book, what did that feel like to know that you shared your words and now they're available for others to read?
It's a really great feeling, because it's like, it's something, for myself and all of my co-authors. It's like, that is a part of your legacy, because, there's a lot of people that say they want to write a book, but most never do. And,
right.
To know that you have something that, hey, you've got this as part of your legacy, and hopefully, of course, it will, help people. It's a really great feeling. And I do appreciate, you and everybody at Hope Books. And I'm very proud of all of the co-authors. I think that it's very important, to do kind of like, there's a lot of people say they want to do this and that, but sometimes you got to be like Larry, the cable guy. He says, get her done. Well, sometimes you just got to get her done.
Get her done. Well, I'm so proud of you, Tommy. It's good to see you. And thank you for sharing your story of courage and the courage to say yes. What a privilege to be with y'all. I'm so proud of our authors who have taken that next step of writing their story. We have a couple that have written together. And I'm just so honored to be with my friends today, Amanda and Colt. Hey guys, welcome.
Let's go.
Yeah, there we
Ryan
go.
Dixon, CEO of Hope Books. How's your energy? You're an hour and 24 minutes into this live. What's going on your end?
Well, I think this is my 6th Zoom call for the day. So I'm just, this is what I do. I love it. I love connecting with people. I'm just so blessed to be alive in 2026 that you can have conversations over borders, over time zones, over important topics. So let's go.
Man, well, great project. Congratulations on getting this together, getting it out there. We've had a blast being part of it. So
I love it. Did you guys get your copy yet, or is it still stuck in customs or something? Hey,
we had to pay a big tariff. I'm just kidding.
Probably.
No, I'm just kidding.
Amazing.
We got our copy. We're quite excited about it.
Let's go. Well, first of all, tell us a little bit about what you guys wrote about in your entry in The Courage to Say Yes.
Yeah, I can start. For us, we wrote about red lights, and it was our story in singleness and learning to trust God's voice in dating. So my courage was a little bit of a courage to say no in terms of pursuing what I thought I needed. And when I'm a man in my late 30s, I've been pursuing the Lord for a couple of years, and I keep ending up in a relationship that turns out to not be the one that he has for me. And so I come to a point where I'm like, God, I'm done. I don't want to. All of my ideas get very confused as soon as, a female steps into the picture. So I cannot pursue anyone anymore. If she's from you, God, you have to present her to me. And that was a really hard. I'm a people pleaser at heart. It was a very hard thing to do. And so that's where what I was wrestling through. We talked a little bit of that. Our story written in the book is going back and forth, talking about what was going on in our lives individually and how God was stitching a greater story together. So I'll let my lovely wife share what was going on.
As the introvert of both of us, I really felt like the Lord in this moment, it was that the Lord was calling me to take the courage to be vulnerable and, to be the one to pursue, to be the one to say, hey, actually, like after being rejected, I actually feel like the Lord is saying something else. And that's hard to like voice an opinion, especially for something like dating and to feel loved. And yeah.
Now, this is going on independently, of course, and we learn this much later when we get married, what God was doing in our story. But yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was an amazing project to do because this is a first step for us, kind of the courage to bring our story forward. There's been a lot of moments where people would ask, how did you guys meet? And when we'd share the story, they would be so encouraged in their faith because of how this unfolds that we're eager to get the whole story written out in book form. This is an exciting pilot project.
I love it. I love seeing couples come together and do something together. What was it like to work on this together? What, maybe a high and a low? How did you figure it all out?
I mean, so when we were at the conference, we started writing because we were trapped in the hotel room for a couple of days.
Well, let's be clear. We left Canada to leave the snow behind, came to Charlotte to get a little bit of reprieve, and being parents of a young, very busy man, we're like, boy, yeah, very busy boy. We're not parents of a man yet, but yeah, we hope that happens someday. As we go down there, you guys get this crazy freak snowstorm and you're completely snowed in. And so we get, now, of course, we think, oh, we're Canadians, we can drive in it. But in the rental car, everybody's on equal ice here, And so we're stuck in the hotel room, can't go anywhere. We just said, all right, let's write this project together. God's ordained some time.
Yeah, I think, there were really good moments where we were meshing, we were writing together, we were talking about it. And I would like say something and you type it out, vice versa. I mean, I would say the hardest part for me was when I had the energy to write and you were like, I got to take a nap. And I was like, but I want to keep going. I have some flow. So it was working with the up and down energy and flow.
Yeah. My need for a nap. Yeah.
That's hilarious. She totally called you out right there.
It doesn't happen often, but
The
it
internet
happens.
forever. That's
Oh, yeah.
amazing. What would you say to somebody who's thinking about writing something with their spouse that now that you've done this?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think whenever you're doing a collective project, you want to be unified on the purpose, right? So I think Amanda and I are both very eager and excited to share our story in this, especially this story, because we want to encourage those that have been single for a long time. So I was 38 when I got married, right? And watching my friends go to church. I remember bringing a guy to church with me one Sunday. He meets this beautiful girl. They get married. And I'm like, Lord, what the heck? I've been here the whole time. I'm serving every Sunday. When do I get to meet somebody? And you just, these moments of like, when does it happen for me? I think wrestles with us when we're a little bit older and faithful to the Lord. And, for Amanda, it's a little different, but her story in a relationship for long term, thinking this is going somewhere, but God had a different plan, agenda. And so the letdown, the hurt, the grief. But we have this purpose to just encourage singleness, right? Hey, you're okay. You don't need to run around. You don't need to be on all the apps. You don't need to, you need to trust God and ask him what's next. Yes. Right? He might be asking you to stop. So we're aligned on that purpose. And I think anybody doing a project together needs to say, what is the purpose that we mutually get excited about, that we can encourage the next generation with? Or
yeah, just thinking like maybe there's a mutual reader that we know, friend that we know that we want to speak to, that we can just write to.
That's some author wisdom right there, if you didn't catch it.
I have been coached by someone.
Brian is a great coach. Who's that one person in the room, right, Brian? Like you find that one person in your mind, this book is written for them, and it really helps to get the words landed.
I love it. I love you guys so much, and I'm so proud of you. And I love seeing Christian couples that come together to share their story together, because I think it's obviously like marriage is a picture of Christ's love for the church. And so to see a Christian marriage, especially when you're doing something together, and to point it out and say, look at that, like that's what we're talking about. It's so powerful. And especially to share words together, like it's a really sacred thing. So I'm just so proud of the two of you specifically. But I did want to ask you a question about like, why do you think it's rare? Like, why do you think it's rare, or any observations about, coming together as a couple to do a project together? Because I don't see it happen a lot, but when it does, it's something I really want to celebrate, to say, look at this really cool thing that's happening.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
You gonna answer?
I mean, to start, like we really do feel that God called us both to writing separately, and it was kind of how we came together. But why is it rare?
I don't know the scripture off the top of my head, but it talks about considering, I think it's Paul's words, talking about considering others' interests as more important than your own. And it's a really exposing scripture for me.
Philippians 2, I think, right? Yeah.
It has a lot, there's a lot of weight to it, because we live in a very individualistic culture. Of course, we all have dreams. We're all been sold that your dreams are your ticket and all this stuff. And so to say, you know what, my desires and dreams, they are of God. And, if I'm following him, I can really make sure to help others get to theirs too. And so in marriage, I think a lot of marriages can have tensions around the pursuit of their own desires, right? And so to say, hey, Lord, when is the timing for each of our desires? If we're one, we need to focus on these desires. I need to make sure that Amanda's got space in the week for her desires. I have space for mine. And we've been married 5-6 years, and we have a little one. So we haven't fully worked this out, but we're conscious of it and talking about it. And
yeah, that's good.
That's awesome. Well, so proud of you guys. Thank you for sharing your words. I don't think I asked you this question. What was it like to get the book and to see it came together?
Well, it's fun to say that I'm a published author now, so that's pretty exciting. I didn't think my first book would be pink. I run men's ministries. Everything I do is around men, and so I wrote a pink book for women, and many others I'm sure that'll get encouraged. But it was really cool. I mean, for Amanda, a little different because she just became a published author this month. She got 2 books from Hope Books. Let's go. Oh yeah, sorry, good calls here. 2 books. So she got her first children's book published, The Hare Who Heard, and so it's just like, wow, this is happening so fast. When you're in the right community, you're around the right people who are trying to make their dreams come to reality in terms of getting their thoughts, their stories into other people's hearts and minds for encouragement, testimony, witness. Yeah, it's quite wild. A year ago, we were like, there's no way. So here we are.
That's amazing. Wow. Isn't that so fun?
Yeah. I need to actually put my own book out there that I've got a manuscript on. So it's like, okay, I've gotten this far. I need the courage to cross the finish line on a big project of my own now.
Well, you also know as a coach, it's hard to read your label when you're in the bottle, and having somebody else who can kick your butt. And I had told, we had some of our authors that have joined our Essentials program. They're doing a full book with us. And so we had an onboarding call today. And I said to him, you know what, sometimes I have to arm wrestle you for your book, like to encourage you, like we're in this together to get the book done, And so sometimes you just need somebody to be like, give you a hug and kick your butt at the same time. And it's just going to be like, focus on the finish line, beginning with the end in mind and knowing that once the book's out, it can encourage other people, right? The hare that heard can't encourage people until it's out. So I'm so proud of you, Amanda. And man, it's such a beautiful book too. And the fact that you guys work together on this one and it's out in the world, and it's a beautiful pink. So
it is.
Let's go. Any other last words of encouragement?
I think you said it really well there, as a coach in a different space, of course, if you want to do something meaningful, you got to just lock in with an environment of people who are doing that thing. So if the time is now to do that next thing, whatever your courage step is, find a community of people that are committed to doing it and lock in, no matter what the price or the timeline, just lock into that, knowing that it's going to be embarrassing to not do the thing you committed to because all the others are there to do the same thing. So that's as a creative person who wants to try new things all the time, I think it's the only rails that'll keep me in check is being around people that have made a commitment.
That's right. That's so powerful. Well, thank you guys for being here all the way up from Canada. And we're so grateful to you. And thank you for your courage to say yes and for your sharing your words in the book.
Well, thanks for bringing hope in the world, brother.
Let's go. Good to see y'all. I gotta get the y'all in there, right? So we're so glad that you're here. I've got authors that are waiting to get in and to share their story of hope up on the stage. So authors, thank you so much for being here. We are streaming this live. My name is Brian Dixon, and I'm so honored to be the publisher of The Courage to Say Yes. The Hope Books team did such a fantastic job helping to put this book together, but it wouldn't be here if it weren't for you and the story that you have shared. So thank you, authors, for being with us. I'm so excited to bring Angela up to share her story of what she shared in The Courage to Say Yes. Angela, welcome. Can you hear me okay? Check, 1, 2. You can't hear me. I can hear you. So we're going to try that again. You might need to exit. To exit and re-enter. Okay, Holly, I'm going to bring you up. If you can hear me, thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, I think I'm getting a little thumbs up from you maybe. Holly, hey, awesome. Tell us about what you wrote in The Courage to Say Yes.
A courage to forgive. We're newly married and new missionaries in Peru. And the end of our second year, it went public that the leadership of our ministry was involved in some, sinful practices, and it crushed the ministry. And so we were forced to return to the States. And, up until that point, we had really put all our eggs in that basket, had planned to stay in Peru, forever, or however long that God, was calling us to. But anyway, so and so one of the people in the leadership was a friend, a mentor, and such an influence in my life. And she and I had a moment together where we Skype had just come out, so that tells you how long ago this is. We had a little Skype moment where she confessed and, asked for my forgiveness. And, I just loved her so much. I couldn't say no, but I also couldn't yet say that I truly forgave her. And so, the Lord had to work on me so much to, bring that about. And so the next time I saw her was just months after we had moved back to the States. And, I went up to her. We met in a restaurant, and, I just looked at her, and the Lord just spoke to me and said, she's human too. And she is, deserving of your forgiveness and your love just as much as you are. You have sinned too, and I have forgiven you. And because I forgave you, you forgive others. So, the second time, I faced her, I was able to truly forgive. And she actually was one of the endorsers of my book, which just came out through Hope Books a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
And
it did.
yeah, and our ministry, like, nothing is wasted. So our time living in Peru just really transformed us. And we actually, this very week, we're celebrating 22 years of ministry in Peru. And in August, we'll celebrate 10 years of that being through our very own ministry, missions organization that, sends us around the world now. So, just that was such a deep experience of forgiveness and understanding of how grace works in our lives. And I talked about that a lot in my own book. But this story that I wrote for Courage to Say Yes was originally in my book, but through various edits and whatnot, it didn't make it into the final cut. But when I heard about this opportunity, it really was the moment where the Lord said, this needs to be shared, because people need to understand that we are all sinners, and we all, need to receive that grace from the Lord and from each other. But another, moment of, and that was incredible. When I received my book, my 14-year-old daughter received her book. And she wrote for the very first time. I mean, she is an aspiring writer, but she story and she called it "It Doesn't End Here." And she wrote about an experience where she gave her testimony in Peru. And her testimony is just filled with years of struggles with mental and behavioral health. And she, realized just how much has been working in her life. And she's trusting, she still struggles, but she knows that healing will come and that God will use her story to bless someone else. And, for generations, it's been spoken over her that she will speak for the rest of her life. And right, I know for sure. So we're on our way on to vacation. So we're in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and I'd put her on, but she's in the way back of the car and half asleep. So, but I know that she would, just love to share that, seeing her words for the first time in a book was just such an incredible thing. She's proud and she is so happy that she had the opportunity to share her testimony.
Come on, that's amazing. Holly, I'm so proud of you and the work that you've done, and your daughter as well. And as a full published author with us, writing your whole book, it's been amazing. So way to go. Y'all, if you're just joining us, we're so excited to be with you today. My name is Brian Dixon from Hope Books, and we have a brand new book called The Courage to Say Yes. It just came out today. I'm going to bring Angela up to share her story of what she wrote in The Courage to Say Yes. And this book can be purchased right now. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, all the places that books are sold. And we're so privileged to work with these amazing authors. Angela, what was it like? You should be here in a second. Here we go. Okay, let's try that again. We're going to make it happen. There we go. All right. Can you hear me okay? Welcome. Check, 1, 2. All right. Hi.
Hi, I can't hear you, Brian, but I can share my book. I'm not sure why I can't hear you after the last person goes off, but I can just share real quickly. I'm just very thankful to be a part of this project. And I wrote about my daughter. We had a medical incident with her, and she actually went to the hospital for pneumonia. And I'm a nurse, but also I think that in this situation, it was more just about being a mom and listening to the Lord. So I wanted to write about just the courage to say yes to stepping out in faith when the Holy Spirit prompts you to do that. And so I wrote about the time she was in the hospital a while back, and just continue to have this. The only way I can describe it's like a still small voice that was saying, keep asking about her heart. And we were in the hospital for something completely different. But I took the courage and I kept saying, is something going on with her heart? And finally, a doctor said, why don't we just go ahead and send you somewhere to get a cardiology consultation. And that opened the door for a lot of things for us and our family. But she had something very serious and going on within her heart that we didn't know about. And so just that the Lord was so kind to keep prompting me to say the right things and ask those questions led us to a diagnosis that now will affect her the rest of her life, but if we had not known, could have led to heart failure for her. So I'm just really thankful. God told me 14 years ago to write a book. And so I'm just now being able to say yes to that. And this season of life was really prompted by several people that said, you should write a book, you should write a book. And I kept listening and hearing that. And I was like, you know what, Lord, you've been telling me this for a long time. It's time to jump off and do it. So just grateful for Hope Books, the opportunity. Was able to go to the conference last year and or this year in January. And the thing that I feel like prompted me the most was just the encouragement of the community there. And Ann Voskamp saying, we all have God stories and the world needs those. So I'm just really grateful. Thank you to Hope Books. Thank you for the editors, for everyone that was involved in this project.
Amazing. Way to go. That's awesome. Can you hear me or not? No. Okay. Awesome. Angela, we're so proud of you. For others watching right now, thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Check. Yeah, good. Okay, so awesome. Angela, way to go. Amazing. I'm going to bring up Rachel to share her story of her courage to say yes. Rachel, what did you write in The Courage to Say Yes?
I don't have audio for you, Brian.
Yeah, she doesn't either. Well, you know what? We've made it so far, all the way to here. Carol, I'm going to bring you up to see if this audio is working. Carol, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Well, good. Awesome. Tell us about what you wrote in The Courage to Say Yes.
What I wrote about The Courage to Say Yes is I'm going to show you a picture, and I bet you can guess.
Come on. I love it. I love it. Being a teacher, I know somebody you taught.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites. And this is my book that I got, and I am very excited about it. And Brian, one thing that I've noticed through this call is that I have so many stories and so many things in common with so many fellow authors
Amen.
that it's incredible how we go through the same things, and just reading each other's stories really do encourage us. And I'm one that is a fear of failure. So when you did the exercise at the conference about filling in that questionnaire before you even told us about the book, I thought my answers were going to be one thing. I thought it was going to be the courage to write and get my words out there. But oftentimes, as God does, my pen was writing and his words were coming out, and I was surprised. And it was about the day that I made a life-changing decision to quit a full-time job. We were newly married. We had been married 3 years. We had a small child, and finances were a concern, as they usually are. And when I felt like I was just too overwhelmed with being a young mother and a wife and all the things, and the daycare and all the things, it just didn't feel right for me. And I started thinking, what can I do? I'm a special education major. I wanted to work with kids. It had been my dream since I was young. And so I started thinking about it, and it came to my mind, and I looked for some ads, and the rest is history. But my memory when I was writing went back to the day when I was sitting in my chair journaling, and then I started scrolling the want ads back in the day when we read newspapers. And I saw a teeny tiny ad that said preschool floater wanted, and I saw a big giant ad for banking, which I had experience in. I applied for both, and some things happened where the bank wanted me, but there was process in corporate that I was falling through some cracks, basically. But the preschool people called me and wanted me right away. Much less money, the whole thing. I talked to my husband, and at the time he wasn't a believer, so this is so cool. And he said, I don't have the faith you do, but I believe in you. And for the first time in my life, I stepped out of the boat. God called me on the water, and I said, okay. 35 years later, I have touched, and there are so many people that I met along the way. You guys being, of course, included in all that.
That's amazing.
But it was amazing. And I just can't say enough about it. And I am the first story in the 4th section.
What was it like to see your words in print? Yeah, what was it like?
Well, it's my 3rd collaboration, if you will. But it was just every time. And I'm working on my Advent devotional now, and I'm so excited. It sparked. My husband called me on the road the other day. He said, I don't think I ever told you how proud I am that you had a dream a long time ago and you made it happen. And of course, with his support, it happened. But he said, I don't even know if I can say I've had a dream and ever really made it work. And here I'm 67, but at 65, God said yes.
That's right.
I thought I was supposed to do it a long time ago. And he said, not yet. So it's amazing to have come into this community and this family. And Brian, I'm going to cry because the way that you care for us and put things in place for us, coming from a heart for us yourself, and as a team, I am so grateful and beyond, or it never would have happened.
Man, so proud of you. Way to go. Way to go, sister. You did it. You did it.
Thank you. Thanks to you.
Awesome. What a privilege. Oh my goodness, Carol, I'm so proud of you. Rachel, we're going to try again to get you to share your story, but we're so honored and privileged to be here. And Lynetta, I see you. We're going to get you after, coming up real soon. Actually, I think I'm ready for you now because Rachel, I don't know where she went, but Lynetta, let's go. Can you hear me okay? Let's go. I just can't hear you. You got to probably unmute your microphone there. Let's try again.
Is that better?
Let's go. I hear you. How are you doing?
How you doing, Brian?
Tell us about what you wrote in The Courage to Say Yes.
So the name of my chapter is From Tragedy to Testimony, and it's on page 8. And I really wrote about one of the most significant moments of my life. And it's unfortunately happened when I was about 23 years old. I was in college at the time and raising a 1-year-old. And I got a call that my parents' house was on fire. It was in the middle of the night. And I rushed to get to the house, of course. And when I got there, you know, the policemen and a fire department, everybody was already there. And unfortunately, they airlifted my brother to the hospital. And unfortunately, when I got to the hospital, I learned that my little brother had passed. Also, my parents, both of my parents had passed. So that immediately put my life on a different path than I had expected. I ended up raising my younger 2 siblings that miraculously, they escaped the fire. It was just a miracle from God that they were able to get out that house. And I did end up raising them. And the courage to say yes was really to just have the courage to step up, be a guardian for them. At the time, it didn't really feel like a courage. It just felt like the natural next step. But through that decision, I had to make so many other decisions where I had to say yes to. One in particular is my husband at the time did not want that responsibility. So I had to end that marriage because it just wasn't an option not to take care of my family. And so I'm so grateful that I did, because it literally, God showed me so many things. He showed me really his strength. He showed me that he has been with me my whole life, and everything I had been through prior to that had prepared me for that moment. And so, and for every moment that came along after that. So I am grateful that I did have the courage to say yes. And I'm grateful that God chose me to go through that path. My whole life, I feel like, has been a testimony. And that's just one of the significant, moments in my life that really changed the rest of my life.
I'm so proud of you. What was it like to see your words in print in a book?
Brian, you have no idea. God has put in my heart since I was I remember the first time I started thinking that I might be a writer is when I was in 5th grade. And I, I've always journaled, diaries, that kind of thing, but I never really imagined being a published author. And when I saw that, I'm not going to cry, but when I saw that book and my story in there, it was so beautiful to me, because I wanted to share that. And I really wanted to share what God did through that. And so I am working on my book right now. And so I'm going to be able to go into more details about what God has done in my life through my book. But that was just I know that was just a drop in the bucket to what I'm going to feel when my book comes out. But it was absolutely amazing. I've already ordered 25 copies of the book. I'm going to send them out to my brothers and my sisters and my kids. I'm going to autograph each one and put a personal note in for each one of them that, was a part of that journey. And I'm just so excited for this opportunity.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Well, what would you say to somebody who's hesitating to write her story?
I think everybody should write a story. I mean, I really do, because I look at it as more than just a story. I look at it as a way of documenting some important lessons that you can share with your grandkids, your great grandkids, your nieces, nephews, everybody. Because if I literally had one page of something that my mother wrote right now, I would be overjoyed. Like, that would be one of my most precious gifts, because all I can do is just remember things that she said. But if I actually had some words that she put down that I knew were from her heart, it would mean a lot to me. And so that's really been my motivating factor as I've been writing, is I've been saying things that I want my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids to know about my journey, and mainly so that it can help them through their journey in life, so.
That's amazing. Wow. Thank you so much, Lynetta. Good to see you, and so proud of you. Thanks for being
glad I
on.
was able to join, Brian. I was stressed. I've been trying to get on here for over an hour.
We figured it out.
I didn't understand how to get on, but I'm glad I got it. So thank goodness.
You didn't quit, right? You kept trying to figure it out, and eventually you get in. So that's how it works. Amazing.
That's exactly how it works.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's so awesome. Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
We did it. Rachel, you have the privilege of being our final author for the day, which is so exciting. And you have that tenacity too, because you tried, and here you are. You're a published author. What does it feel like? What did it feel like when you saw your words in the book?
It felt super exciting. It really brings them to life to see it on the page. Like, you've walked through the experience, and you've lived it, sometimes even shared it with others verbally, but just to see them written out on the page, it makes it so real. And knowing that others will be able to see it and receive it. And in all honesty, it's like a book of testimonies, right? Like these are our stories that we've lived, and God just bringing those stories to life through the book and through the collaboration is just amazing.
Amazing. Tell us what you wrote about in The Courage to Say Yes.
I wrote about the experience a few years ago after my divorce. Which was just a really difficult season and full of just so many unknowns and so much change. And God called me back into the mission field during that season. And it was not a time where I wanted to say yes to very much of anything at all, right? I was just trying to say yes to surviving the day. And I hadn't been out on the mission field for about 5 years, and he just sent it through my inbox and was like, you need to read this again. Like, this is what you need to be doing. And so just within a year of all of those changes happening, I found myself like up on a mountainside in Guatemala, just drinking in all the beauty that he created, and mentoring and witnessing to women and working in ministry. And it was just such a profound experience to be like, if you say yes to God, he's going to do so much more with it than you possibly thought could be, right? I never saw myself being there. And it was just so beautiful to look out like over what he had created and taking me into a whole new place. And it wasn't home. He had to take me all the way to a different country and to be like, I want to show you, I want to take you deeper. I want to show you more. I want you to experience this. And it just took saying yes to not even knowing what that experience was going to be like. And full circle moment, when this book arrived in my mailbox, I was just in India the past few weeks, also doing more ministry and working in women's ministry. And so I got like the email that it was being shipped out, and I was just like overjoyed and super excited. So the first thing I did when I got back was I checked my mailbox so I could grab that book out. And I was like, all right, God, I've been on another piece of my journey here with you now. And then just seeing these words written down from that story was super amazing. So it's been a really great, fulfilling experience for me.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Rachel, for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Oh my goodness, y'all, we made it. We just had our live stream. How cool is that? The book is now officially launched out into the world. So way to go, authors. I'm so proud of you and the work that you've done to write your words of hope in this story called The Courage to Say Yes. So thank you so much for your trust in us as your publisher. And we love working with first-time authors. We often say faithful over famous, and these are faith-filled stories. So grab a copy, The Courage to Say Yes, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold. And we'll see you next time. To learn more about Hope Books, just go to hopebooks.com.